Today, we are going to focus on Colorado. The state's unemployment rate dropped 0.3% this year to 8%, running below the national average. As you know, it's 9.5%. Meanwhile, since the decade began in 2000, only about 118,000 jobs were added, while Colorado's population increased by 7 times that amount, about 870,000 people. Where are jobs being created? The number one spot for employment growth in the state is the professional and business services sector, which is expected to add 6,500 jobs.
Well, let's see how one Colorado town has faced the challenge of a slowing economy. It's been pretty tough for Colorado Springs. The town cut bus service, recreational spending, and turned off a third of its streetlights to deal with a budget shortfall. Well, now its mayor says revenues are higher than expected, and the city of 400,000 can start hiring more police and fire personnel. Joining us right now is Lionel Rivera, who has been mayor of Colorado Springs for the past 8 years. Mayor Rivera, it's great to have you on here with Matt and myself. So things are getting better?
They are. As a matter of fact, sales tax revenue are significantly better than we projected for the 2010 budget, and that's giving us a little bit more flexibility to add back some of the services we cut back on and frankly, plan for a police academy and fire academy even earlier than we expected.
So Colorado Springs, though, already super progressive as far as cutting down the size of government, right? I mean, as far as I know, you only make a salary of $500 or $600 a month, and you hear stories all the time about Colorado Springs citizens sort of starving the beast, so to speak.
Well, we are a very conservative community, and in terms of combined sales and property tax rate, we have the lowest rate of any major city in Colorado, and our citizens expect us to be very efficient, very productive with the money they allow us to keep. And yes, I do it for the love of the job. The $500 a month really doesn't pay all the bills.
But let me ask you, you do say things are getting better, but do you expect that to continue? And I bring that to your attention because you know the backdrop at this point, how much discussion over the last few weeks about whether or not we're going to get a double-dip recession or so on. So do you expect the upturn that you guys are seeing to continue?
Well, we do. Maybe not on the rate that we have seen the first 6 months of the year, but what we have done is cut our workforce from 2008 to 2010 by 300. We've become much more productive and efficient in all our departments, and that's going to allow us to start returning services with a lot less overhead. So we're not going to need as big a recovery in sales tax revenue to keep the services or restore some that we had cut back on, because frankly, we've turned some things over to the private sector. We've increased fees slightly. A lot of the operations we had in our Parks and Recs department that needed a city subsidy now run at a surplus and put money back into the general fund. 3 of our pools have been turned over to the private sector, and they're doing just great. They will return some money to the general fund. So we've changed the way we do local city government, and it's a change for the better. Certainly some areas are going to be a little bit more difficult to come back from, like cutback in bus services. And of course, our public safety, we need to work on getting those folks back on the street as soon as possible.
Is the story, though, Mayor, is it about the tragedy of cutting down services in Colorado Springs, or is it really about the success of the way you run the city there, drawing in capital and the success of the rebound that you've experienced?
Well, I think the story is the creativity and innovativeness of our community. Not only is the city government acting more efficiently, but one of our community centers that could have been closed has been taken over by a faith-based organization who signed a 3-year contract with the city, who's providing that service to us at no cost. That freed up money for the other 3 community centers to remain open. And those, in fact, we've cut the overhead by 42%, so we're able to run those much more efficiently. The U.S. Olympic Committee provided us a $250,000 grant to keep a lot of those programs going, too.
Mayor Rivera, we've just got 20 seconds left here. As you know, the state's Congress approving, what was it, about $24 billion in aid to states. 26, forgive me. I mean, is that necessary at this point? Do you really think that the government needs to be providing states aids? Because you guys seem to be turning things around just quickly.
Well, I think the federal government needs to take a good hard look at that. I think most cities across the country should try to be a lot more efficient in their operations, so maybe they don't need the help from the federal government. I don't think continuing to pile on debt on top of debt is going to be good for our country in the long run, and I think we just have to live within our means.
All right, we're going to leave it on that note. Mayor Rivera, great to get some time with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.